Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of the Double Bubble Trouble podcast, a dedicated Apex Legends podcast to all things Apex, whether that be news for season updates, ALGS, tips and tricks, any drama going on in the scene, community, whatever it may be. If it's Apex Legends, we're talking about it here. I am your host, Halon. Um, yeah, I'm excited because I've been bouncing around with this idea for a little while now about doing a podcast of some sort, and I really couldn't settle on anything. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then when I came back to Apex, I was like, you know what? I was like, I love this game so much, and I spent a lot of time on it. I want to talk about it because I got opinions too. I got opinions about certain things on here, and I want to talk about them. So, how the show is going to work, because I've already covered what we do here. The show is going to work in a simple fashion in the sense of I'm going to have a couple main topics that we're going to talk about right from the jump at the beginning of the show. I might cite some articles, I might show some videos, I might show some screenshots, pictures, whatever may be relating to the possible topic. Now, it could be anywhere from 2 main topics to 5, 6, depending on what kind of news and how much news we got going on. Never know. Could be a busy day, could be a slow day. And that'll also determine the duration of the show as well. So, once the main topics are down, the community starts to grow a little bit. We'll probably take some live or not necessarily live questions because the show is pre-recorded right now. But we'll be taking questions from Reddit, Twitter, wherever you guys DM or send them to me, Discord, whatever it may be. Or we may just go off on a tangent and start talking about things we like about the game, what we hope to see change if we got that slow of a news day. But all right, guys, let's get right into the topics of today's show, the first show. Of course, number 1. Not necessarily in order of what I'm going to be talking about, but ALGS coming up this week. We've got the biggest and the first LAN in over 3 years for Apex Legends. Massive W for EA, Respawn, the competitive community, the community as a whole, pub or ranked, casual, whatever you may play. This is massive. This is the first big, massive tournament for Apex on LAN for the first time in 3 years. And it's over in Sweden. So massive time zone difference there. It's going to be very early for all of us over here in the Eastern Hemisphere. Western Hemisphere, I'm sorry. United States is in the Western Hemisphere. I don't know what I'm talking about. Ignore me. Anyways, so we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about Season 13 because Season 13 is right around the corner. It comes out May 10th. And we got our first trailer on Monday. And I got to say, I'm highly looking forward to this legend. This legend looks really interesting. We don't have a whole lot of news on him outside of his name, and the only type of predictions or guesses we can make on his abilities is based upon what we've seen in the trailer. So I'll also be talking about that. And the final topic, what I'm going to be talking about first, though, is the little controversial news or, kind of what happened with EA and Respawn not funding all the teams to go to the event. So, let's get into it. I'm going to go ahead and pull up a tweet. For the audio listeners, I'm going to pull up a tweet and kind of show everybody visually, where this all started, or at least where I had first seen it originally. So, as you can see right here, from Jake Lucky, who happens to be an owner of an organization. I believe he has a team going to the event. Not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure, yeah, he's got a team going to the event. He states that ahead of Apex Legends' $1 million LAN event in Sweden, teams have found out that only half of the 40 who qualified will receive travel funding from EA, with some orgs not able to pay it and some teams from smaller regions possibly not able to afford it. Come on, EA, really? Question mark. Well, all right. I don't totally disagree with this statement. However, I do have an opinion on it, and I don't think that, I don't think people should be freaking out as much as they are. I think it's, I come, just to give you a little bit of background on me, I've been in competitive esports for a little over a decade now at this point. I started really traveling back in 2011 for Black Ops 1. That is when I started going to my first major events, started traveling around. And back then, funding was only given out to pro players. And I believe at that point it was there wasn't a whole lot of funding, and there wasn't really a whole lot going on as far as there definitely wasn't any salaries for players at all like they are nowadays for Call of Duty Halo and some of the top tier Apex Legends players, any other competitive esport out there. There were no such thing as salaries back then, at least not in the games that I was competing in. So with that, I feel like, just to be honest, like, it seems like we just become, a little spoiled. Some of the, at least say half the esports community, competitive esports community has become, spoiled in a sense. Like, I understand Jake's frustration here, and he's totally entitled to this. Not saying that he's not at all. However, I just, the way I see it is, I believe, I don't think it's EA or Respawn's responsibility to fund teams to the event. What their responsibility is to do is to have a venue. Make sure, obviously, I mean, I don't know what Sweden's COVID protocols are, if they're still dealing with that over there or how they're handling that. It's EA and Respawn's responsibility to make sure those rules and regulations are followed. They have a good enough prize pool, which they do, $1 million. I think that's pretty good for this game. It's, I believe once they have the venue, they have all this. I believe that is pretty much the extent of their responsibilities. I don't believe that their responsibilities are to get the teams there, because from when I was competing, and even still as far as I know with the CDL and with Halo, the organizations are responsible for funding these teams along. It's the organization's job to get their teams there. It's Respawn Entertainment and EA's job to get, like I said, the venue, the prize pool, the team passes, and to have all the equipment there, PCs that people are playing on, controllers, headset, I don't know why I'm blanking on mix amps. There we go. Mix amps, if necessary, things like that. That's what the tournament hoster's responsibility is. It's not their responsibility to fund the teams out there. That's just, to me, that's never how esports has worked. At least not that I've known of. I don't know, scrolling down through the comments when I was actually going through this whole thread, somebody had stated that, I guess maybe Fortnite, Epic Games, and then I don't know, maybe Riot did something for Valorant, maybe. I think Epic Games did something for Fortnite. They funded a lot of people there and such, but I don't feel it's the responsibility of the game creators and the tournament hosters to fund people there at all. I don't believe it. Now, with that being said, if you are going to do that, either do it for everybody, or at the very least, do it for the organizations that don't have the capability of, that's something else I'm going to talk about here in a minute, that don't really have the funding to get their players there. Like organizations like 100 Thieves, TSM, NRG, anybody else that's involved in Apex Legends that has a massive Cloud9, things like that. Those guys probably don't need the help. They're probably also giving their players a pretty good salary. So those organizations are well popular, well funded. They've got plenty of resources and funds to get their teams there. They're not the teams that need it. So some of the other regions, like the EMA or the South American, I'm blanking on the other regions right now. Sorry, guys, but those other regions may not necessarily have the funding because they may not have the following, may not have the content, they just may not have the resources in general to get their teams there, which I'm going to get into in just a minute. But if you are going to do it, either do it for everybody or at least give it to the teams that actually really need it. Which I don't know what they did. I didn't find anything in my scouring research trip through the digital media world of Twitter. I didn't find anything that stated which teams they gave it to, which I didn't expect to. I would have been very, very surprised if I did find anything. But I did not see anything at all that pertained to which teams they gave the funding to. But jumping into the organizations, man, like, to me, if you don't have funding, especially in this day and age, and you're competing at the highest level, you know, you've got a really good solid roster and they've proven themselves. They need to make sure they have the funding to be able to go to these events, because if these guys, pardon my French, bust their ass for you and qualify for the biggest tournament happening right then and there, you know, like, come on. Why don't you have the funding already? Why are you even getting involved if you don't have any money whatsoever? You shouldn't be doing that. If you're going to start an esports organization, you need to have funding backed, because it's not going to be very profitable. So you should not go into, I don't mean to get into any analytics or finances or something, but just real quick, esports is not necessarily a profitable business per se right off the jump. Eventually maybe it can be, but not right away. It's not very profitable. You're going to be putting in a lot more money than you're going to get back, because you're going to be paying your play. If you want to keep your teams happy and stuff, you're going to be paying your players. You're going to be taking care of them, making sure they have the best of this, the best of that. Whatever they may need, you're going to be taking care of it. And I just think that some people seem to forget that, or they don't understand that. Now, offering up funding right away, it's totally up to you. If they prove themselves, like that was the whole thing back then when I was traveling for Call of Duty and Halo. And even up to the point when I stopped in like 2015, 2016, you had to earn your funding. Like top 32, top 24 might get you the team pass to the event paid for. Top 16, because top 32, top 24 was considered amateur. Might get you a team pass, maybe even the hotel paid for. Top 16, semi-pro. You're definitely looking at hotel and team pass for sure. In top 8, pro, you're probably looking at flights, maybe even some team dinners. Definitely flights. I don't know about team dinners, but definitely some flights for sure. You're probably going to get full funding at that point. Almost, I'd say 99.99% guaranteed. Unless you run into somebody who's just absolutely ridiculously hard to please. Now, the tweet I liked on there. I liked that tweet just so I could remember where to find this. Not necessarily that I agree with that statement, but however, like I said, I just don't believe I don't believe it's EA's responsibility to get people out there. I think the organization's got to put the cash. Now, however, I will say one more thing about this, and that is that before I forget, EA at the very least to help out somewhat with these qualifiers to get into these split playoffs and the split 2 playoffs. These these online matches that people were spending so much time in, these regular seasons or whatever, regular season matches that people were spending a lot of time and effort in, they could have at the very least put up a prize pool for that. Now, instead of necessarily throwing out funding for these teams, they could have put that money towards a prize pool for these regular season matches and these qualifiers that people had to go through and spend all the time, instead of people basically using all their time to, pay for or playing for free, essentially. Like if you're not in TSM or you're not in 100 Thieves, you're not in NRG, you're not in Cloud9, chances are you're probably not getting a salary and you're not getting paid for your time. So do people feel it's necessary to, I didn't get that. That is something that maybe it's a lesson well learned from EA. Respawn. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they won't do anything about this whatsoever. But that's just kind of where I stand on it. I'm a little 50-50, but I definitely strongly disagree with EA. They're being, with some of the people and what they're saying in this thread. Like I don't think I'm an OG. I like to consider myself an OG of esports, even though I'm not necessarily at the top 1% competing, didn't make it to that level. I like to consider myself an OG just because of how long I've been around and I've watched esports grow and I've watched it change over these years. And I don't know, maybe I'm just in a completely different mindset, but this is just the way I view it. This is how I see things. This is how I That's how I view it. I've never thought it was the tournament, because I don't even think that's the case even now for the franchise CDL or even Overwatch. I mean, well, I shouldn't speak on Overwatch too much because I don't really know too much about it, but especially the CDL, the COD League, the organizations are the ones that are still funding teams to get out there. They are not. It's not. They have a specific person on their staff that takes care of booking all the flights and everything, but it is not the CDL's responsibility to get. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. That is the responsibility of EA and Respawn. The commentators, the casters, the analysts, the desk people. It's also their responsibility to get those people out there. So, any commentators, analysts, or desk people not receiving travel funding, you have a legitimate case 1,000% that you should be able to win. And quite frankly, I don't even know why EA wouldn't even think about travel or funding your traveling to get you guys out there. So, but moving on to the next subject, we have some season 13 news, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into it because we just seen a trailer. Now, I'm not going to play the trailer here. If you want to go watch the trailer, go ahead and check it out. It's on YouTube, on the Apex Legends channel, of course. So, Season 13 is titled Saviors. The new legend named Newcastle, which apparently appears to be, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the trailer, this is the major spoiler. Maybe skip ahead a couple seconds. So, well, I wouldn't even say a couple seconds. It might be a little bit, so a couple minutes maybe. But Newcastle, and he appears to be Jackson Bangalore, Anita Williams / Bangalore's brother. So Jackson Williams, and apparently Bangalore hasn't seen him in a very long time. After that trailer or that cinematic that discussed how she got her knife, her heirloom. She has not seen him in a while, and she's questioning what's going on with him. So let's talk about him a little bit, however. In the trailer, we get a little bit of look at his, what appears to be a shield of some sort that he carries around. Reminds me a little bit, sounds like he's kind of, or he's looking like, not sounding, but he's looking like more or less that he is a Gibby, a dumbed down Gibby of some sort. Yeah, maybe. Dumbed down Gibby of some sort. That's what it would appear to be. With his arm shield and the way that he is able to use it, it looks like he's able to. If I'm guessing, here's what I'll say. My prediction, what it'll be, hot take, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be passive is going to be dragging people that are knocked on his shield to get him out of danger, maybe to a safer place, being able to move and shoot and drag people away, so you can get them rezzed safely somewhere that's not out in the middle of the battlefield, and you don't have to spend time punching the body, which is also a little tip there. Nobody knows. To get your teammates out of danger, to be able to res them behind cover, punch or kick them over there. It'll go a lot faster than them crawling. So, it's tactical. It looks like that shield he can place that shield and it absorbs a lot of small arms fire. And then the ultimate it looks like he just makes a gigantic castle that a bunch of people can hide behind, that it just absorbs like any big blast. Not really sure how far that'll go, but that appears to be what it is. And I'm excited. I'm actually really excited for the first time in a couple seasons to play a new legend. I honestly really haven't been that excited to play a legend since, I guess, I'll say Valkyrie. But even though I haven't really spent that much time on her. But I guess the last real legend that I was super excited to play was Horizon. So that's why I main her now. So moving on to the next of the new content. So they're reworking the rank system. They're trying to find a way to be able to make it more team-based, to where you have to play more as a team and team-oriented to gain the points. There wasn't really too many details upon, what the plan was or how they're going to rework this. Those are just kind of the details that were given. Was about the changes they're going to make to the rank system and, see how it works or whatnot. And the last thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to this new content for Season 13. Season 13, for those that don't know, starts on May 10th. May 10th. So you got a little over a week. changes were coming to Storm Point. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about Storm Point, but Storm is definitely my least favorite. I did not mean to do that. My least favorite map out of everything. Out of all of it. All of them. Storm Point is too big. I think it's honestly ridiculously big, in which, to me, in turn, I know a smaller map, it's kind of hard to fight and not get third party like Kings Canyon or even Olympus a little bit, but I think having a larger map defeats the purpose even more. I think it honestly defeats it even more because people are going to, because the map is so large, people can't find anybody right away. They're going to want to land closer to people, and so they can kill everybody. They can get more kills. They're going to want to land closer. They're not going to want to land far out and spread out. I think it kind of defeats it. The opposite effect is going to take place. Rather than people being so spread out and you're able to finish fights without getting third-partied as easy, which you are on Storm Point. I'll admit I have not gotten third-partied very heavily on Storm Point. But, at the same time, I just feel like it defeats the purpose. So, but, those changes coming to Storm Point, maybe some of the map will be taken out. It look like some of the map is going to be taken out, or maybe there'll be more supplies, weapons added. I don't know. Some things of those natures, I guess. But anyways, that's what we've got for season 13 content. Nothing else right now. We'll probably be getting, I imagine we'll be getting the Meet the Legend trailer here soon, probably within, I'd say probably after this event is when they'll probably drop it. They're probably waiting till after the Sweden LAN, which, by the way, it's going to be a little difficult for me to do watch parties on that. I probably won't be able to do a watch party on Friday. Maybe Saturday and Sunday. Definitely Sunday, but Saturday, I don't know, maybe. I might be like a little late to the watch party there. I don't know if I'm going to get up that early because I already have to get up that early for work, and I like sleeping in just a little bit on my Saturday. So, all right, anyways, and our third and final main topic of today's episode. Need a drink of water. I'm sorry. Third and final main topic. ALGS. Let's talk about it. Now, I'll be the first to admit, because of my work schedule, I wasn't able to catch every single ALGS qualifier match. I was not able to catch those, and I apologize that I wasn't able to. But based on what I've seen in the past and what I have seen this season thus far, I'm going to, let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk about kind of, what's going on. Kind of what's happening. We're in year 2 of ALGS. And I got to say, the prize pool being as increased as it is, it's awesome. Like it's great. And I'm really happy for the competitive community that this is what is going on for them. Bigger prize pool, land events. But so let's get into some of the top teams that are going. Let's talk about them. Let's bring them up. Okay? Let's bring them up. Shall we? Here we are. We got NRG. That features Rocker, Nafen, and Sweet. Everybody knows who these guys are. I know who they are. I've watched them. NRG fields a dangerous roster consisting of 2 young fraggers, Nafen and Rocker, and the team captain and ILG. I said ILG. Jesus. IGL. Sweet dreams. So, NRG is a very good team, as is any team that has made it this far and is qualified for this event. NRG got first in the ALGS Winter Circuit playoffs and the online number 6 qualifier. These are their top achievements. Good team, great overall team. Obviously, 2 of them elected not to have their picture put up on here for whatever they may be. Next, we have G2 Esports. Dzingvel, Resulta, and Gentrifying. I don't really truly know much about this team. I have not watched them very often. But they have got to be very talented to have made it this far, obviously. That's a very, very obvious statement, Halon. They got to be very talented to have made it this far. I won't really go over too many of the other rosters. I'll just kind of say the names. You got Cloud9. You have TSM, of course, that pretty much is just about the favorites, I think, in just about anything they play because of this man right here, who could be arguably stated to be the GOAT of Apex, Mr. Imperial Hal, for the audio listeners. You got Sentinels. You got Team Liquid, CLG, Complexity. And these are just kind of the feature teams, you know. This is the North American region feature teams. EMEA. I definitely don't really know anything about any of these teams, to be honest with you guys. I've watched, obviously, some. I watched some of the EMEA qualifiers. Those are ones were a little bit easier for me to watch, I want to say. Yeah, if that makes any sense. For some reason. But I don't still know a whole lot. I was mainly watching a lot of Shiv and watching Shiv play. I wasn't watching too much of variety of teams in that sense. And APAC North. Reject. Crazy Raccoon. That's an awesome name. Crazy Raccoon. That's a great name, actually, because I would not ever mess with that team. Mess with a Crazy Raccoon, I should say. So this is what the schedule is looking like for the audio listeners. We've got group stage, bracket stage, and final stage. Group stage is going to be pool play, in a sense. And this is going to determine the seeding. And who goes where, who goes into the winner's bracket, and who goes into the loser's bracket. Now, this all starts very, very early, as you guys can tell. I'm on Eastern Standard Time here. This starts very, very, very early. I might be able to come home, and I work Fridays too, by the way. I'm off Saturdays and Sundays. Not that matters a whole lot, but to anybody, but that is what's going on. So I will not be able to do watch parties for these times right here, unfortunately. However, this is a possibility. But it won't be a very long watch party because, unfortunately, I do have a previously scheduled event at the in the evening time. So I'm going to hope that maybe it goes by a little bit quickly. Maybe we can watch the whole thing together. But if not, hey, whatever. Sucks to suck. Bracket stage on Saturday. Winner's bracket. 5 a.m.? Okay. I might be able to do that. I might be able to get up at 4. Because originally, from what I was seeing, is that the start time was like 4 a.m. And I was just like, no. I'm not going to be able to do that. Maybe I'll be able to get up, do 5 a.m. But that would require a watch party all day. May not necessarily. May get up and be around 6. I'm sorry, guys. It's just really, really early for me. So, but I'll definitely be doing the watch party all day Saturday for this stuff. And then Sunday, of course, I'll be up by then, 10 a.m. to watch the match point finals. which I think is going to be awesome to see this because I don't think I caught the last time they had an event for Apex. I don't think I was watching it. I don't remember what I was doing in that period of time. I know I was playing Apex, but I don't think I was watching it. But I'm excited. And this is awesome. This is great. This is really, really, really exciting. So, all right, guys. Well, that's pretty much all the news. And that covers pretty much all the topics that I wanted to talk about. Things to expect. Well, I guess actually I could give you my predictions on who I think is going to. I'm not going to say who's going to win because I really don't know, but I'll give you my predictions on who I think is going to make the finals. I'll give you my top 5 teams. I'm going to say 100 Thieves, number 1. Number 2, I'm going to put TSM. Number 3, I'm going to throw in CLG. And then 4 and 5, I got a feeling either 2 teams from the APAC North region, South American, EMA, or EMA is going to make it. Or it could be a split between one of here, one from EMEA, South America, or the APAC North, or APAC South. I'm not 100% certain on that. But I know at least 2 teams. I think it'll be 3 North American teams and 2 teams from other regions that it's going to round out the top 5. And I guess I might as well just say that I think 100 Thieves can win it. 100 Thieves was looking pretty good when I was watching them. They were looking pretty good. And I just got a feeling that they might take it away. So, but, all right, guys. I think that's just about does it for the first episode of the Double Bubble Trouble podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, share, subscribe if you're watching from Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast feed from. If you're watching the live video on YouTube, hit that like, bell notification button so you never miss a Double Bubble Trouble podcast upload. Comment. Let me know what you guys think. Subscribe to the channel. That helps a lot. It gets us out there. It gets the algorithm putting us out there to more people so they can find this because I know there are people out there that want to listen to somebody talking about Apex in podcast format. And it's right here. It's right here for you guys. So thank you. First episode of Double Bubble Trouble in the books. I'll see you guys for the watch party and the afterthoughts of each day of the Split 2 playoffs of ALGS. All right, guys. You guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy yourselves. Whatever time of day you're watching this video, I'll catch you guys later.